One wrong move could destroy the entire Thomas family in Season 5. And the crazy part is, the episode descriptions may have already revealed who starts the war. Hidden inside a few small lines are clues about betrayal, secret deals, and a power shift that could finally break the connection between Rock and Kanan forever. The streets are changing, trust is disappearing, and this season already feels darker than anything we have seen before in Power Book 3, Raising Kanan. But the biggest question is this: is Kanan finally ready to become his own man, even if it means going against his own mother? Season 5 looks like the moment where everything starts falling apart for the Thomas family. At the end of last season, nobody truly won. Rock was still standing, but her control over the streets was getting weaker. More people started questioning her decisions, and even inside her own family, trust was fading away. Kanan is no longer the same young kid who blindly follows orders. Every season, we have watched him become colder, smarter, and more dangerous. Now it feels like he finally understands that power is not about family anymore. Power is about survival. That change in Kanan may become the most important story in the entire season, because once he fully stops trusting Rock, there may be no way to fix their relationship again. One of the biggest clues comes from the way these new episode descriptions talk about pressure and unexpected choices. Those words may sound simple at first, but fans of the Power universe know the writers love hiding major twists behind small details. Whenever the descriptions start focusing on trust, pressure, or consequences, it usually means betrayal is coming soon. And honestly, that makes sense for where the story is heading. Rock has enemies outside the family, but now she also has problems growing inside her own house. Marvin has been trying to hold the family together, but even he looks tired of all the chaos. Lulu is still carrying pain from everything that happened before, and it feels like he is slowly losing himself again. Meanwhile, Jukebox is becoming more distant from everybody around her. Every member of this family feels emotionally separated already, and that is exactly why Season 5 feels dangerous from the start. The most interesting part is how Kanan may begin making moves behind Rock's back very early in the season. The episode descriptions hint at changing alliances and risky decisions, which could mean Kanan secretly starts building connections without telling his mother. That would be a massive turning point, because Rock always believed she could control Kanan's future. She always thought she could shape him into whatever she wanted. But now Kanan is older, smarter, and more aware of the lies around him. He has watched people betray each other again and again. He has seen how power changes people. Deep down, he may finally realize that Rock has also been manipulating him from the beginning. If that thought fully enters Kanan's mind, then Season 5 could become the beginning of an all-out war between mother and son. Another huge clue is the possible return of Unique. Even if the show tries hiding him in the background, his presence still feels connected to everything happening in these descriptions. If Unique really comes back stronger and more focused, he could become the perfect enemy for Rock because he understands her weaknesses better than almost anyone else. But what makes this more dangerous is the possibility that Unique may not attack directly at first. Instead, he could secretly manipulate people around Rock. He could create tension between Kanan and his mother without them even realizing it. That would fit perfectly with the darker tone the show seems to be building this season. Instead of one big war happening immediately, we may watch quiet betrayal slowly destroy the family from the inside. There is also something strange about how certain characters are barely mentioned in some descriptions. In shows like Raising Kanan, that is usually not an accident. Sometimes when a character disappears from promotional details, it means the writers are hiding a major surprise involving them. That could mean someone gets arrested, someone gets hurt, or someone secretly changes sides. Fans should pay attention to who is missing from these early descriptions, because those missing names may actually reveal the biggest twists later in the season. The Power universe has always used misdirection like this before. They make viewers focus on one problem while a completely different disaster is building in the shadows. What really makes this season exciting is how close Kanan feels to becoming the version fans already know from the original Power series. The younger Kanan still had moments where he showed emotion and confusion, but now those moments are becoming smaller. Every loss, every betrayal, and every lie is slowly removing the last pieces of innocence he had left. By the end of these first episodes, we may finally see Kanan stop reacting emotionally and start thinking like a true boss. And if that happens, Even Rak may no longer be able to control what comes next. The deeper these Episode 1 and Episode 2 descriptions get, the more it feels like Season 5 is setting up silent betrayal instead of open war. That is what makes the beginning of this season so dangerous. Nobody is showing their true intentions yet. Everybody looks calm on the outside, but underneath, every character seems ready to make selfish choices to survive. The streets are changing fast, and Rak may finally be losing the one thing that always kept her powerful: control. For years, she stayed ahead because she understood people better than they understood themselves. She knew how to manipulate fear, loyalty, and emotion. But now things are different because the people around her are no longer easy to control, especially Kanan. One of the biggest clues hidden inside the early descriptions is the repeated idea of consequences. That word matters because it tells us the actions from last season are finally catching up to everyone. Rak has spent years making dangerous decisions, lying to people close to her, and trying to protect the business at any cost. But every lie creates another problem. Every secret creates another enemy. Season 5 already feels like the moment where those problems begin crashing into each other all at once. Kanan is older now, and unlike before, he is starting to notice the patterns around him. He sees how Rak changes her story depending on the situation. He sees how people disappear when they become a problem. Most importantly, he sees how fear controls everybody in this family. That may be why Episode 2 feels so important already. The descriptions hint that Kanan could begin questioning Rak in ways he never has before. Not loudly, not directly, but mentally, and that is even more dangerous. A suspicious Kanan is far worse for Rak than an angry Kanan because once trust disappears between them, every conversation becomes fake. Every warning sounds like manipulation. Every piece of advice feels like control. Kanan may slowly start making decisions without telling Rak because he no longer believes she truly wants what is best for him. He may start thinking she only wants to keep him close because she needs him for the business. That emotional shift could completely change the direction of the season. At the same time, the streets around them are becoming unstable again. Smaller crews are probably watching Rak carefully, waiting for weakness. In the power universe, power never stays empty for long. The second people sense a leader losing control, somebody always steps forward trying to take that spot. That is why the pressure on Rak feels heavier this season. She is not only dealing with enemies outside the family, she is also fighting against time. Every mistake makes her look weaker. Every emotional decision creates another opening for rivals to attack. And if Unique is secretly alive and watching from the shadows, then the situation becomes even more dangerous. Unique may actually become the smartest player this season if he returns carefully instead of violently. Most people expect revenge immediately, but a patient Unique could destroy Rak more effectively by turning people against her first. Imagine if he secretly feeds information to the right people. Imagine if he quietly pushes Kanan toward independence, while Rak becomes more desperate trying to hold on to control. That would create the perfect psychological war. Rak's biggest fear has always been losing her family, and Unique understands that better than anyone. He knows money alone cannot destroy Rak emotionally, but isolation can. Watching her own son slowly stop trusting her could hurt more than any street war ever could. Another important detail is Marvin's role during these early episodes. Marvin has changed a lot compared to earlier seasons. He still has anger inside him, but he has also become one of the few people trying to keep peace inside the family. The problem is that peace may no longer be possible. Marvin is stuck between loyalty to Rak and concern for Kanan. If tensions continue growing between them, Marvin may eventually be forced to choose a side. And honestly, that could become one of the saddest parts of the season because Marvin has already spent so much time trying to fix himself. A family war could pull him right back into violence and chaos. Lulu also feels like a ticking time bomb right now. The early descriptions may not focus heavily on him, but that silence itself feels suspicious. Lulu has been emotionally broken for a long time. He wanted distance from the streets, but trouble always pulls him back in. People in emotional pain often make unpredictable decisions in the power universe. And that is why Lulu could become dangerous again this season.